welcome to TisTalk.
This is a podcast coming from Tisbury, Wiltshire and surrounding villages. I'm Julianne Murphy.
And I'm Mary Myers. It's the week beginning Monday the 17th of June. Hello, Julianne.
Hello, Mary. How are you?
Fine. How are you?
I'm really well, and I'm slightly excited. Well, this woman is my hero of the week, Mary.
Oh, yes.
Yes, who wrote the Times about wearing her bikini at the age of 88.
Let's hear the letter.
Sir, further to your piece, why you're never too old for a bikini, in the Times on June the 12th, I am 88 and still wear a bikini, though one of the more substantial variety. It is very comfortable for swimming in the sea, and I wouldn't wear it unless I was confident that I still look pretty good.
Jacqueline Longley, Tisbury, Wilts.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Good honour.
That is priceless, isn't it?
Yeah.
So we must try and get hold of her. We want to have her on TisTalk.
Yes, please call us, Jacqueline.
Yes.
So, Mary, what's on today?
Okay, well, the main interview we've got is with Tom Stinton from Cour's Farm.
Oh, yes. And he makes an interesting point, doesn't he, about how he doesn't separate the calves from their mothers.
Yeah, that's different from what Peter Shallcross does.
Who we had on a few weeks ago, talking about how he separates them and then feeds the calves powdered milk.
But of course that means that Tom has to actually have almost half the production that a dairy farm like Peter's can produce, and therefore has to sell his milk a little bit more expensive.
Yes, it's a difficult thing, isn't it?
Yeah, difficult one, yes, but interesting.
Yeah.
Where we're milking the cows once a day, leaving the calf on the cow, and she would naturally rear it, like she should. And we're just milking the surplus, and you'll be drinking the surplus milk that she produces.
And then we've got Victoria Charleston, who is the Lib Dem candidate. That's in our series of interviews with all the candidates on the ballot paper. Last week we had John Glenn, and next week we will have the Labour candidate Matt Aldridge.
Okay.
But Victoria Charleston, Anne spoke to this week.
But I know there's an incredible amount of frustration around housing in the area as well. So you have a beautiful, beautiful village here, which I love to come and visit. And I know there's an awful lot of families who feel that their children can't afford to live in their home.
Then we have Mirka Golden Hann, who runs the studios at Messums, and she talks to Kate Gam.
The light is fantastic here. It's a spacious building for people to work in, and it was a very exciting project to be involved.
Then we have you, Julianne, doing a lovely review of the Anstey Pick Your Own Pizza Night.
Yeah, which come up twice a month in the summer.
That's a nice review.
And apart from the anticipation and pleasure of knowing someone else had the grind of cooking my dinner, it was at this point I thought, this place is a great Friday night destination.
Then I report back from all the fun of the circus. Okay, on with the show.
On with the show. You may know Tom Stinton's produce from Tisbury Country Market at the Victoria Hall. Anne Martin was down at Cour's Farm and started by asking Tom about his new shop on the farm.
Yeah, so we've installed this self-service farm shop. It's right on our farm gate. It's a little wooden shack where you can come and buy our frozen beef and lamb. There's various other condiments and things and other produce like eggs, rhubarb, asparagus and various other bits and bobs. What's so special about our shop is that the fact that it's unmanned, so you can come at any time, 7 till 7, 7 days a week.
That's great. And tell us a bit about the type of sheep that you have here, because I understand they're a bit different to the normal sort of sheep.
Yeah, so I've got what's called Exolana, and they're a shedding composite breed. They've been produced for their maternal fertility and good traits, but also primarily they're wool shedders. So they produce less wool than a conventional breed. And they drop their fleece naturally throughout the season. and equally I haven't got a cost of shearing. It means I can leave their tails long, I don't castrate, I don't tail dock. They're literally left to their devices as how nature intended.
Are more farmers going over to these type of sheep? Because you hear that wool is wasted a lot because it can't be used so much now.
Exactly. I'm part of the breeding programme with Exelarnet and producing some breeding stock for them. And it is becoming more and more popular.
And can you tell us something about the herd of cows that you have here?
Yeah, so we've got pedigree red poll cattle. They're on a grass-fed system, same as the sheep. We finish all our steers on farm. We sell all our beef and lamb at town markets. What's special about the red polls is they're a dual-purpose breed. They can produce just as much milk as a typical dairy breed will, but at the same time have the qualities of a beef animal. So actually, up until now, we've been using them, primarily for their beef side of production, but we've now stemmed into what's called an ethical cow-calf dairy, which we've just started this spring, where we're milking the cows once a day, leaving the calf on the cow, and she would naturally rear it, like she should, and we're just milking the surplus, and you'll be drinking the surplus milk that she produces. At the moment, we're only self-consuming the milk and feeding it to our bottle lambs, but we can't actually sell it yet because we've got to go through a lot of additional testing and things. So once that's through, then hopefully later in the summer, available at the shop and on the markets, it will be our fresh milk.
Yeah, I can see in your fields you've got quite a lot of wild flowers.
Yeah.
So how does this work with the cows in the fields?
So we've got about 35 acres here on the farm that we purposely do not graze from about middle of May right through to the 1st of July. So in that time it allows those wildflowers to seed, and then we cut for hay, and in the actual process of making the hay, where you turn the hay, it shakes the seeds out of the dead plant in July, and then that will self-seed for next year's display of flowers and so forth. And so this will now be year 5 of that project. Yeah, and it's been quite successful.
That's good. Have you got any plans for the future?
I'd like to see more people drinking a milk that's produced in more of an ethical way, a natural way. All right, it'll be a bit more expensive, and there's a bit more labour involved for the yield that I'll get. I really do think it's going to be important, and I hope people will support us in it. So we are just going to be selling it in bottles. You pay, I think Emily was saying that you pay for the bottle the first time round, and then you just top your bottle. You replace, the bottles will be pre-filled, but you just replace the bottle and return a bottle. So you have a one-off payment with the bottle.
Right.
So.
That's brilliant. Thank you very much indeed.
You're listening to TisTalk from Tisbury, Wiltshire.
Next up, we have the Lib Dem candidate, Victoria Charleston, who chatted with Anne Martin.
I'm with Victoria Charleston today, who is the prospective Liberal Democrat candidate for the up-and-coming election. Good morning, Victoria.
Good morning, Anne. Lovely to be here.
So, first question, how do you assess your chances on July the 4th?
Well, we're incredibly excited locally. The word I hear the most on the door is the word change. This election feels very much as though we are going to have a change of government. And here in the Salisbury and South West constituency, people know that the best chance of change is the Liberal Democrats.
Great. Can we learn a bit more about you as a person? So can you tell us what your background is and how long you've lived in the area?
So I grew up in a military family. My dad was in the Air Force, and we moved around all over growing up. My parents came to the Salisbury area in 2007. So they settled here then, and I went off to university. I studied history, and then I did a master's in human rights. And since then, I have worked mainly in the charity sector, in sustainability and in violence against women and girls. So I spent my 20s, like many people in London, working for charities there. In fact, but again, like many people, when we decided we wanted to have children, we left London and we moved home to Salisbury. And now my daughter is 5 and I have a little boy who's 2. And we just love Salisbury. Salisbury's our home. I have been one of the joint leaders of the City Council in Salisbury since 2021. and doing an awful lot of work in the city itself to try and improve things for people. And I'm hoping desperately for the chance to be able to do that for a much wider area.
What one single issue is your priority for change in Tisbury and the surrounding area?
Goodness me, that is such a hard question.
Yes.
I've actually got a little bit of a shopping list for you. So I know that my colleague Dick, one of your Wiltshire councillors, has been doing an incredible amount of work on potholes, and that is something that, as a Wiltshire councillor, he has brought a lot of focus on. And I know it frustrates an awful lot of people across the entire constituency, the state of our roads. So that's something that I would support him with in pushing both Wiltshire Council and Westminster for more funding to improve our roads. But I know there's an incredible amount of frustration around housing in the area as well. So you have a beautiful, beautiful village here, which I love to come and visit. And I know there's an awful lot of families who feel that their children can't afford to live in their home. I understand that house prices in Tisbury are actually double the average across Wiltshire, which is astonishing and obviously out of reach for so many people. And so you have those issues of the lack of houses being built, and then obviously you had the issue recently about the houses they want to build near the train station, those 80 houses plus the care home. So whilst I think more houses are needed in Tisbury, it's where we build them and how we build them. And one of the things I'm very proud of with my party and our manifesto is that we would change the planning system and ensure that decisions around planning are made as locally as possible. So we give a lot more power to parish councils as well as to unitary councils to actually decide where houses are going to be and what houses are going to be as well, which I think would make a huge difference here in Tisbury. One of the other things that I think would be beneficial is access to NHS dentists in the village. As well, I know that you have a wonderful surgery here and a fantastic doctor, but I also understand that a while ago you could see the doctor the same day, and now waiting lists, like across the country, have really gone up. And my party has promised more doctors, more GPs, more staff generally into our health system to try and unblock some of those problems and allow us to live the lives free that we wish to do so. So those are some of my shopping lists for you.
We have quite a lot of problems with flooding in this area. Absolutely. And the quality of the rivers. Is this something that you would address as well?
Absolutely. It's a huge priority, and we've seen it in the national news. My party has been pushing hard on water quality for a long time, and I'm very, very pleased that it is actually a central issue to this election period. I have met with some of the local farmers, and I know that, again, your local councillor Dick has been doing an awful lot of work on water quality. And so what I would intend to do, if I was fortunate enough to become your MP in 3 weeks' time, 3.5 weeks' time, is to bring together those farmers, those water companies and other interested bodies and see what we can work to do together.
And what about local transport? We have a few buses in Tisbury which go to Salisbury and back. But then aren't many people on the buses. And so what would be your view on local transport and buses?
Goodness me, again, it's one of those things like potholes that comes up over and over again. And so, again, one of my focuses as we go into this election is to think about transport and travel around the entire constituency. And here you have the problem of lack of buses. What I would love to do is have a real joint-up approach between our bus system, our car system, safe ways to cycle as well, access for pedestrians to be able to move around, and get the whole of South Wiltshire really moving properly.
A lot of subjects there. Thank you very much indeed for your time today in what must be a very busy schedule. Thank you very
so much for having me. It's been wonderful.
There's a new TisTalk every week wherever you get your podcasts.
Kate Gann talks to Mirka Golden Hann, who runs a Messums art studio.
So I'm here at Messums studio with Mirka Golden Hann, who is the head of the Messums studio. And this is a very interesting building, this whole unit that we're on here. So what did this building and this development used to be before it was the studio?
So as far as I understand, the building began as an RRF site and was used during the Second World War by American army for ammunition storage. What I do like is the fact that we entered a building that was previously, used for war, and we've turned it into a creative teaching space.
And so you set up the Messums studio, it's 3 years ago now, isn't it?
So I was invited by Johnny Messum to come and help back in spring in 2021. And the space was then being emptied out, previously used as a storage of artworks. And immediately I could see the potential. The light is fantastic here. It's a spacious building for people to work in. And yeah, it was a very exciting project to be involved in from the very start, yes.
And the current summer term is in progress now. And what sort of things are you doing this term?
During our typical week, we will run a great number of pottery classes, but also at the moment we teach regular life drawing classes and drawing classes. So starting on Tuesday until Friday, we've got a program for adults, but on Saturday afternoon, we've got also a program for young artists. We are piloting currently as a regular course, furniture restoration course. So that is running on Wednesday mornings. In addition to that, the summer which is coming now allows us to do lots of one-off courses. And we have a textile repair course coming up with Lizzie David on 22nd of August. This course is running for a whole day, so Lizzie will be able to share many more methods of how to repair clothes. So I'm hoping that it will be another popular course. I am also discussing a possibility of a new course, which is very much a traditional way of restoring antique furniture. Also to look at taking furniture which is not necessarily antique, but is a little bit out of fashion and making it current, so more like jazzing up all the furniture.
Do the courses that you run reflect or coincide at all with what's happening at the Messums gallery?
Yes, there certainly is a crossover, not necessarily in all courses, but there are some courses that we program, and usually they are the short courses, which are linked directly to the gallery program. And we are very fortunate to be under the umbrella of Messums and being the hands-on learning site. What is coming up in the summer is the paint symposium. And to the symposium, we actually have a course delivered by Joanna Gallego on 26th of July. And Joanna is one of the artist speakers in the symposium, which will be happening on the 27th of July. So there will be an opportunity for people to spend a day with Joanna to learn from her. And also for children, we will have actually on the day of the symposium a program of painting course in the morning, so that even children can take part in the symposium through learning. So after house term, we will be starting new life drawing class led by artist Charlotte Morton, and her block of 5 life drawing Tuesday evenings will be running concurrently with an exhibition of sculptors' drawings in Tisbury, which I think is very exciting because people can not only work with the life model, but can also see how other artists draw towards sculpting. So this is kind of how we work with the gallery and their program. So the website address is www.messums.org. And to find the information about Messums Studios, click on Learning, then click on Messums Studios Making. And that's what will lead you to our program.
Perfect. Well, thank you so much, Mirka, for your time. It's been lovely to be here on this sunny day, and I wish you all the best for your future plans here.
Costs for day courses start at £25. The painting day that was mentioned on the 26th of July is £130.
We have over 60 episodes for you to browse at tistalk.buzzsprout.com.
Next up, we have Julianne, who is enjoying a pizza and a glass of wine.
It was a bit of an unappealing prospect. Eating pizza under canvas on one of these weirdly chilly June evenings we have lately been experiencing. And this is not only the evenings. As I record this, I'm wearing a pair of boots taken out of summer hibernation because, well, it's just so cold at the moment. Back to the pizza. It was too late to back out. The table was booked, friends were being met, and the fridge at home held nothing more enticing than some Greek yoghurt and the obligatory piece of dried cheddar. The prospect of eating outside, exposed to the elements, against rustling up something from nothing after a long dreary day at work held no contest. Cold or not, it was a Friday night and we were going to Anstey Pick Your Own for a glass of wine and a freshly made on-the-spot Big Bang pizza. This, it turned out, was one of my better decisions. Just in case, though, I added a jumper, long wool cardigan and a wrap to my attire, trying to convince myself that there is nothing unusual about freezing in June. I have seen Anstey Pick Your Own food evenings advertised for a few years now and never managed to rock up at one. It is a simple and effective setup. If you have booked, park in the generous car park, find your picnic table under the big canvas awning with your name chalked across it, go inside and grab a beer or a glass of wine. Not much choice, but $6.50 for a perfectly okay rosé. These days that feels like a bargain. Then go up to the Big Bang Man and order your pizza from a short list of options. Now let me say at this point, I love a short list of options. A long menu fills me with gloom, and it's not because I'm indecisive. It's just that I've worked in enough kitchens to know how chefs fulfill a long menu, and it's called reheating in a microwave. Saying that, myself and himself are vegetarians, so that reduced our options to 2 pizza types, the margherita and the Lulu. We ordered 2 Lulus, £10.50 each, and our mates ordered meaty ones, and we returned to our table to await our names being called out. And apart from the anticipation and pleasure of knowing someone else had the grind of cooking my dinner, it was at this point I thought, this place is a great Friday night destination. Lots of the other tables were full of happy, noisy people, children, maybe the odd dog, but something to do with the vastness of the landscape beyond the open-sided tent somehow meant you could really ignore everything else going on and just enjoy chatting with your pals. And even though the green fields and that big Anstey hill were topped with a grey sky, it didn't make us feel downcast. The strung lights throughout the tent came on. We were wrapped up enough to stay warm, and the acoustics were perfect for having a good end-of-week natter. Imagine what it must be like on a warm evening with a sunset. Pretty nice, I would imagine. Our names were called, and up we went to collect the pizzas. The Lulu was a well-balanced combination of goat's cheese, mozzarella, topped with fresh tomatoes and black olives, on Mr. Big Bang's lovely, freshly baked, properly made pizza base, served on paper plates, and we merrily wolfed them down. If we had stopped at the pizza and a large glass of wine, that would have cost £21 per head, which these days in these parts is about as cheap as you can hope to eat out on. Of course we didn't stop there and shared a few portions of a perfectly executed chocolate brownie, topped with Anstey Pick Your Own fresh strawberries and cream. So that did add a few bob per head, but it all felt good value for your money. The lush Wiltshire backdrop, a happy crowd, a well-turned-out pizza. These evenings are on a couple of times a month for the summer. The next one is the 21st of June. No matter what the weather, do yourself a favour and book in with some friends you really like, perhaps bring a cushion, and a casually happy evening is almost guaranteed.
Another summer thing that's been affected by the rain was Tisbury's Fete on Saturday the 15th, but everyone had a good time, and here's a little bit of the music from Sarah Nichols with Cable Street.
Pony on my
finally, just before the What's-Ons, here's a little taste of Happy Circus, which was in town last week. Hello. You're the clown.
I am the clown.
And I'm from a little podcast that we do locally called TisTalk.
TisTalk? Hello
Yeah.
there.
What's your name?
My name is Echo the Clown.
Is this your first time in Tisbury?
This is my first time in Tisbury. We are a part of a travelling circus. I am northern. I am from the faraway city of Sheffield.
Miles and miles away.
Yes.
Yeah, what do you make of Tisbury so far?
I like it. It's got some very nice areas. Obviously, I only drive through it and appear on the grounds, but everyone's really friendly. I can tell there's a lot of community spirit here. It's very nice to see everyone enjoying themselves and obviously laughing at my jokes, which obviously gets me paid.
So this is Natalie, one of the organisers, or the organiser of the circus.
Yeah.
Why did you decide to have the circus here?
I think the circus is an amazing community event. The kids love it, the adults love it, and it's a great opportunity to raise vital funds for the school, just for stuff they need. Like they need new iPads, and they have to be specific educational ones, and like just 15 of those alone cost £6,000. So it's to go towards that, and everyone has a great time.
Yeah. Have you got a target?
We have got a target, and I hope we make that.
And what's that?
It's about 4,000. So fingers crossed. With everything that we're doing out here as well, and the ticket sales, that we'll get that. And it's real fun. So it's been good. Been hard work, but worth it.
Thanks very much.
Welcome.
Very own Mr. P. Julia. The one and only Mr. Slinky.
And we end with the What's-Ons with Lau Pointer.
On Wednesday the 19th, there is a Tisbus outing to Ford Abbey at 9 a.m, returning at 2:30 p.m. The cost is £15. Phone Dave Milas on 07500 802 525 to book your place. At 10:30 there is a Move and Make music event at Hinton Hall as part of the Memory Group's activities. On Thursday the 20th there is afternoon tea at the Victoria Hall from 2:30 to 4:15 p.m. Cost is £5. Call Marion on 01747 870 813 to book. On Friday the 21st, it's Midsummer Day, and in the evening there is the Philly Loo at Ashmore Village, starting at 7 p.m. with the wonderful and mysterious Horn Dance at dusk. Also at 7:30 p.m. on Friday, there is the first of two concerts for Ukraine at St John's Church, Tisbury. On Saturday the 22nd, at 10:30 there will be a Big Bash charity cricket tournament at the Fonthill Park Cricket Club. At 1:30, the Sacred Heart Charity Fete will start at Trellis House Garden in Tisbury. There is a Young Nature Watch flower safari at the Tisbury Community Meadow by the Nada Centre between 2 and 4 p.m. And at 7:30 on Saturday, there is a concert for Ukraine, chamber and choral music at St John's Church.
That's all from us. We've been Julianne Murphy
and Mary Myers. And special thanks to contributors Anne Martin, Kate Gam and Lal Pointer.